What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and I had a question for myself earlier today as I was thinking through some Flash Feud battling, and that is, what is the best and worst class in the game? If only we had an objective system to measure this with. Well, I'll get to that. But as I'm looking at things, I was really focusing in on my female roster. So I'm going to start with the males here. But the female roster, which will be another video, is what I was actually kind of thinking about. Like, what is the best class? What's the worst class? And I want to start with the negative and build towards the positive. What's the worst class in the game? Well, if you were to look at our power ratings here, you would see that there are only three classes now actually, that have 25 out of 25 superstar. So you've got CM Punk Zombie for Powerhouse males. You've got LA Knight Zombie for Trickster males. And you've got two Acrobat males, Jacob Fatu and Leonardo, with Muda pulling up the next. But then look at the Acrobat class after that. We really haven't rated a whole lot of Acrobats. The ones we have are pretty much all top tier, like literally, except Sammy, but he's still okay, and the Bite Man makes him a lot better. Then you've got Showboat and Striker, no top tier, no 25 out of 25, but a lot of 24, 23, and 22 right in that mix. Then you go to Trickster, and if you ignore LA Knight, you've got Donatello and Ozzy. And then it pretty much drops off a cliff, right? And I don't know, let me see if you can see the window on this. Kind of. You can kind of see the technicians here. I got to switch between windows because I'm doing this in my bedroom on just a Saturday for fun. You get over to technicians, and there's an amazing amount of top tiers. Just an amazing amount. Now, you go towards the bottom, and you've got Road Dogg, which we did as a joke, kind of. But you've got your free tier characters, Brutus and Huskus, that are all the way towards the bottom there. Final Boss Rock for Strikers. Technicians, though, look at how many are near that 16 mark, right? So there's a lot of input that we can put here, but we've only been doing the power rating system for, not even a year yet. And so there's a lot of characters in the game that we have not power rated. So let's start out with who cannot be the worst class. Who cannot be the worst class? And how am I determining this in my own little subjective world here? Well, the second question actually is, how many top tier characters are there? And how many accessible characters are there in the game? So let's look at Striker. I don't think Striker can be considered the worst class in the game at all. I mean, you've got some top strikers. Now, of course, these are rare. This is my account, by the way, that we're on right here. I've got a 12 million roster, so I'm on the higher end of the community. Not the top, but certainly in that top percentage, right? So you've got Werewolf Ozzy, you've got OTC, and you've got Zombie Sammy. Those three are not only the best strikers in the game, they are among the, if not the best characters in the game, flat out, period. However, not very accessible to most, right? So you move on to the accessibility scales here. You've got ETV Seth. ETV Seth is very accessible now to the community. However, in order to get him going, you need all of his gears. That was weird. I grabbed his gear and it moved his body. You need all of his gears to get these boosts, and you need 2 to 3 moments as well, right? They're flashing by here. If you have all of that, ETV Seth is a feud monster. If not, he's not as great. That's just part of it, right? Bam Bam, as I'm recording this, November 2024, is in the bags that you get monthly, so people are getting shards of him. He is definitely a top tier striker, especially if you have the new turtles, right? So Kofi, Raphael, either or both of those are going to make him amazing. Or if you got this plate right here, he's top tier. Like, nobody can beat him, period. You're going to win, right? But all you really need is a bad attitude plate, and go back to trainers, and this guy, Triple H, right? The striker, old striker, Triple H. Corporate tie, Triple H is the one that you need. Yeah, Bam Bam's great, and he's getting to be more accessible. Hall of Fame DDP is phenomenal, also very accessible, also great with the new Turtles. Bret Hart, he's a coach. I don't really care for him. Butch is super accessible, and he's distinctly okay. The Imperium moment is really good with him, but here's the one that clinches it for me: Bradshaw. Bradshaw is incredible, and because of oopsies, he became very accessible to the community. So if you don't have any other top tier striker, you likely have Bradshaw. Also, as of this month now, the Rabbit. Eric Rowan is A tier, but he is top tier damage. So talk about accessibility of these on the male side, and right there you've got an argument that says this can't be the worst class. But there's still one more that I haven't mentioned yet: Terry Funk. You get the moment. Now that is very important for it, so it's one big thing. And a pyro plate on him, or the let me talk to you plate, which I don't have. He is among the top characters in the game, and very accessibly so. All you really need is the moment, like that, and that was fairly accessible at one point. So right there you have 3 or 4 arguments between Bam Bam, maybe a stretch if you're getting him, but certainly Acolyte Bradshaw, the Rabbit, and Terry Funk, that says striker is in line for the best class in the game for men, not the worst. Also, you probably got Rocky. Rocky's really okay. Stun lock, triple black, triple green with a chic plate. Damian Priest Zombie's good for free to play, etc. So there's no argument in my mind that Striker is among the worst. They are the best, possibly. We're going to take a look at that in another video. So if not Striker, what about Powerhouse? Powerhouse males. So let's talk top tier and then accessible. Top tier, Raphael became top tier with the update in November of 2024. He is in freaking incredible now. Before that, he was meh at best. There was a build, BDC build video we've got on him that was good. So if you have him, but again, not as accessible. Powerhouse Hogan is becoming more accessible, and I expect that we'll see him. Hopefully we'll see his gear, because I don't have that gear right there. Hopefully we'll see his gear at Christmas time, but I'll expect we'll see him again Christmas time. But very much like ETV Seth, you need 2 or 3 moments. You need the gear. It's great if you have the Hulkamaniac plate and so on and so forth. So not inaccessible, but not super accessible yet. Top tier guys. So Cody and Bionic Austin, definitely top tier. Both super rare. Undertaker, I know I've got him gold. He's not really great anymore, unfortunately. Rock and Roman is good up to 6-star silver. In fact, he's phenomenal up to 6-star silver. Doesn't really scale as well to gold, but he's super fun, and his move damage does some things. Fatu's not accessible to the community. Triple H plus a Piper plate is very good, and he is somewhat accessible. Braun is good and great if you have S plus tier Showboat, the new Tribal Chief solo. But again, S plus tier super rare. To make him good means right? That's a challenge. So the Powerhouse class really starts to thin out until you get to the new Eric Rowan. If they had not nerfed him after they immediately nerfed him after they buffed him, he would be the top powerhouse in the game. Now he's good. And because of the competition that's going on this month, you're going to have him at probably 6-star, maybe even all the way up to 6-star gold. And he's really good. He's really good. So that's one mark for the accessibility column, and good. But look at the rest of these powerhouses. Like Zombie Ray's great, but if you don't have his gear, you're not getting a lot out of him. Mutant Seth is really good now with the Bite Man's plate, but still not top tier in the current, and he's still fairly rare. Razar is really good, but was very difficult to get in his month. So you start looking at the accessible characters, and there's just not a lot of them that are accessible and hitting. So Powerhouse is a possibility for worst class in the game. I'm going to skip Trickster because I want to do them last and talk about them. Acrobats. There is no way you can make an argument that Acrobats the worst class in the game. Talk about top tier. Jacob Fatu and Leonardo are the only, the first class where we have two 25 rated, power rated characters in the game. So you're not going to tell me that that is not top tier right off, right? Jacob Fatu is fairly accessible throughout the community. And even without all his tricks, he is insanely good. But there's a number of really good acrobats that are accessible. So, D'Lo. D'Lo is really good. Not top tier anymore, but really good. Shawn Michaels, another one of those characters where if you have a bunch of things, he keeps getting better and better and better. But here's the surprise most people don't think about. This guy right here, Jey Uso, I'ma get him. These moments, and again, you got to have some moments, right? But this moment in particular, which was very accessible to the community, puts him in the conversation of maybe your best acro, or at least among them, right? 100% all gem damage, 50% less damage, multiply gems increase their strength by 4. Plus, when you talk about feud, if you have this moment as well, you're also seeing, where is it? Juggernaut, all color submission. Oh, very top one. Sorry. Multiply gems also increase their strength by 4. So that's times 8, and he's creating strength 4. That's now times 12 and times 13. Triple black with a few things in feud. This guy's actually really, really good, and you have him. You might have his moment. You might have 100% strap. But right next to him, we've got Devon. Devon is also very good and fairly accessible to the community. Run this move set right here or triple purple. If you've got the Devon's glasses, a few other tricks, he just keeps going up. Very specifically against Showboats for where he falls in the meta. But you go against Showboats in every feud, right? So just make sure you're facing Showboats and you're good. Third argument, Wesley. Wesley is very good. Now, this moment right here, again, does make a huge difference for him. So hopefully you pulled it. I pulled it lucky out of a bag. That's how I got it in one of the feud chests. Hopefully you did as well. But even without it, he's really good. Triple blue, triple purple. Either way, he's got some things, right? So I'm going to tell you right off that Acrobat, in line for best class in the game, not worst. Not worst by any means. And we haven't even gone through like Acro Warrior, super slow and clicky, but can destroy almost anyone. You know, keep going down the list, right? You've got a bunch of acrobats that Shelton Benjamin, surprise, surprise. Look up Zoro's video on it if you haven't seen it. Shelton Benjamin with a couple tricks is one of the best characters in the game. Yeah, it's 2 plates, one of which has become much more accessible lately, right? And one of which, Piper Plate, is also somewhat more accessible. And then there's a conversation to be had around this Sammy right here. He is 200k on the UCC, Ultimate Champions Club. I got him there. If you run this move set right here with a Bite Man's plate, and technically if you can do it, you can also run solo, but you don't need that per se. But this with a Bite Man, he actually gets really, really good. So you can UCC him for, you know, a lower amount, etc. So Acrobats off the table, not the worst class in the game. So right now we're between Powerhouse as the only one we've got that we're considering. And I'm going to tell you secondarily now, or quadrarily, I don't know what the word is, why Showboat is also not on the table for worst class in the game. You know it. I know it. The Showboat army is insane in this game. So characters I don't have, Rex Regum, insane, but S plus tier, super rare. So we're talking on the rare side, right? William Regal is freaking incredible, and even though he is not more accessible now, they made his top build more accessible when they put Tama for a grindable as the A tier character in the Bloodline month. So William Regal plus a plate, the Piper plate, and Tama means he can destroy anyone and anything. You add 1 gear, which is what I have. You don't even need trainers anymore. You can just run all the multi-coaches up the wazoo that you want. Insane, right? Showboat Vader, he wasn't my favorite in the 6 silver era, but surprisingly in 6 gold, I now prefer him much, much, much higher than Bionic Redneck Austin and Seth freaking Rollins by far. Like, he has just gotten so much better. Zombie Bailey as a coach changes the game for him. It's insane. Again, not super accessible, but he is there. The Tusos, they did the gear on the prize wall. You had the opportunity to take that. The Tusos are phenomenal. Solo is good. Seth freaking Rollins is good. And some other top tiers. But let's talk about accessible characters. Once again, I've got 3 or 4 arguments for why your Showboat roster is probably better than you think it is. And I'm going to start with Rusty's favorite, Grayson Waller. Grayson Waller, run like this, can beat anyone. It's slow, but it wins. Or what Rusty runs with gear is triple green. I don't have any gear. You might not either. So that might be the argument against him. But again, free to play, run this. Got his gear, run triple green. He does really, really good. Secondly, Finn. Finn was given out for free, and during the Pride event, they also gave out his gear, which makes every color move start with 6 more MP, which means you can use all of the coaches that you want to, all the trainers you want to, that don't have MP up. So you'd usually need MP up. You don't need it with him, right? And so you run triple purple, really, really good. Triple green, yellow, also very good, or some combination of blue and yellow. He's got 3 really viable move sets, and he's really good. And he was given away for free, plus his gear was given away for free if you were playing during that June month. Zombie Brett, not my favorite character in the game, but if you have this setup right here with the red and black plate right there, then he's really, really good. Plus, he's got the sub defense, etc., etc. Then we come to Turtle Kofi. Michelangelo Kofi. Run him like this if you've got Solo Sokoa and some other tricks, but realistically you're running the green-yellow combination with these right here, and he does really, really good. He can beat 6-star gold fairly handily, and once again, this was very accessible to the community during this event, and power gems go up 100% more. So right off rip, you've got Kofi Angelo if you've been playing. He's great. You've got Grayson Waller. He's good. With a couple tricks, he's great. You've got, more than likely got, Zombie Bret Hart. Really, really good. If you were playing during the Pride event, you got Finn Balor plus his gear. He's really good. One more. Somewhere between rare and not rare, because he's been in the 6 gold coin loot for several months, or multiple times I should say, and that's where I got the 6 gold fuse. But Sheamus of the Brawling Brutes, if you got him and you have the Imperium moment, he is an absolute banger after banger in feud, right? So you've got multiple very, very, very accessible characters in the Showboat class. And, there's others down the way here. Let's see. Anybody that I want to call out? Not off top. Huskus is fine. He's okay. So you've at least got Huskus, but more than likely have Bret Hart. All right. So Showboat, not in the conversation for worst class. Maybe in the conversation for absolute best class. And one more. Absolutely not in the conversation for worst class in the game. Tech. Technicians are insane lately. And I have one argument that goes for this class that just beats everything else, even though there's 100 arguments as to why tech might actually be the best male class category in the game, and it's Shredder. Shredder was extraordinarily accessible to a large portion of the community that grinded, played, and at least was in a top 50 to top 100 faction. You very likely got Shredder, and Shredder is perhaps the most fun character in the game right now. He's also super good. Watch his breakdown video, watch his power rating video. He has 3 move sets, all of them are just top-notch destroyer. My favorite is actually the defensive build. It's triple green. With all the defensive perks that he has, they literally cannot kick out, period. No one can. 6 gold and beyond, Shredder is phenomenal. Plus, he's got the multi-gym build, and he's got that sub. If you have the moment, that sub is freaking insane. Shredder alone makes tech not in the conversation for worst class in the game. But there's also my good old pal, Zombie Dom. We have done 7 or 8 videos on Zombie Dom, all of them just adding one new thing because they keep adding things that impact Zombie Dom. You realistically do need Rey Mysterio, that is Zombie Rey, but if you have Zombie Rey, he hits for insane damage. You got other things you want to throw on there? Sure. All Heart, yeah. Or the Naomi plate instead. Hooray. Lots of the new trainers. All the zombies. Zombie Chelsea, for goodness sake. The free tier makes him insane right there, right? So you've got 2 amazing free. Oh, but wait. There's Miz. Miz, for a hot minute before Ilya and before Julius got the plate, the Tama plate, Miz was the Shredder in the game, right? If you got that moment for Miz, he's amazing. I mean, like top tier, top notch, freaking incredible for the Miz, right? You run him this way right here, and maybe some of this right here, and you're good to go, right? There's a couple different plates, the Nightmare plate, that Triple H plate, Jade plate, not really the Jade plate. Never mind. I was wrong on that one. I misspoke. But either way, right there, 3 in a row, top freaking tier, free tier characters. And I haven't even gotten to Cowboy Bob yet. We'll get there, right? But let's talk top tier characters. Julius with the Tama plate is unbeatable, incredible. I don't have the moment for him, and now there's 2, right? I don't have the Summer of Champions moment, and I don't have the Wyatt 6 versus American Alpha moment. Those 2 moments take him to legendary status. I mean, just like not quite William Regal damage, but he is right up there. Not quite OTC damage, but like knocking on the door. From Julius, we go to Ilya. Now, Ilya is S+ tier, so super rare, but he was easier to get than a lot of the S+ tiers have been, I would say, for those who spent at least, I spent a little bit. I didn't spend a ton, but I definitely spent. Still, he is in that accessible category. He's not so far out of reach that you're not going to get him, and he's just really good. Multiple ways to run him. This way is foolproof. It's a 5 MP black move, so you need 1 trainer, and you're good to go no matter what mode you're in. Just top tier. So you got some guys there. Jim Neidhart. I love Jim Neidhart. He didn't scale into 6 gold as well, but I did some videos to show he still does. He's one of the most fun ones to play with. You need 1 gear, but now all these other techs, I wouldn't take him over Shredder, for example. I wouldn't take him over Julius. Wouldn't take him over Ilya. Even Miz is in the conversation there. CM Punk is really good. Still rare, but still good. And then somewhere down here, we're going to find guys like Finish the Story Cody, good. Karrion Kross, good, not great. X-Pac, Hall of Fame, very good. Steiner, good. Shamrock, surprisingly good for where he's at. But right where you really want to see it is Cowboy Bob. You got several moments for him. This one is the one that was the most accessible right here. Gems do 100% more damage. All color moves deal 100% more damage. You put a Sheik plate on him, triple green against powerhouses, and you can do quintillion damage, right? It's insane. Very accessible, very free, very good. Build Cowboy Bob. He might be your best tech. And then there's others that are just fun. I know some guys in my faction run him as their top tech still, because he takes a couple turns, but he can do a lot of damage. Yeah, I think that's... Oh, and then Razor plus gear. I don't have Razor's gear. I just pulled Razor not that long ago. But Razor plus gear, and there are a couple moments that help him, is just outstanding. Especially in Faction Feud, right? Just outstanding. So Technician, not on the table to be the worst class in the game. So let's go back up, because right now all we've got is Powerhouse, but I skipped over a class. I skipped over one on purpose because this is the one I really want to talk about. This is the hard one for me. Tricksters. Tricksters are such a tale of two worlds, right? Let's talk about top tier tricksters. There's two, right? I mean, I'm missing some. Ghostbuster Hogan, I'm not talking about because he doesn't exist in the game anymore. Just like I wouldn't talk about Tech Rocky 4, doesn't exist in the game for most people. So those that are kind of most accessible, this is one where the top tier and the free tier bleed together perfectly. There's two characters. There's Donatello and there's Ozzy. Yes, we're going to get to Bubba in a minute. But Donatello and Ozzy, free tier, absolutely phenomenal. Both of them are non-stop, the best possible thing. They're great. They're very accessible. They don't need much, right? Other top tier guys, if you've got this guy with his gears and he really needs both of them, he is phenomenal. I don't have his gears, so I've stopped using him, to be honest. I like him. I've stopped using him. This guy is really good, but not great. He takes a lot. I enjoy him quite a lot, but Merrick's has made some very convincing arguments that he's just not worth the investment for most. Hogan is there as a coach. He's phenomenal as a coach. Knoxville was amazing up to 6 silver, dropped off hard at gold. Zombie Gunther is not great. He's fine, but he's not great. Solo, if you have the drip, is great. If you don't have a drip plus the moment, he's not even worth talking about. Andrade's not good. Rosie's not good. Ali was great, but again, super rare. Dom is eh. So really, we've really kind of eliminated most. Tama is good. So in the free tier argument, I would say Tama is definitely one to talk about, especially the move damage build, the one right here. You do need the Honky Tonk Blues, which is super easy to get, or La Familia, which they did actually sell for a super cheap amount. But other than that, Bubba is your guy. But for Bubba, you really, really, really need a Sheriff's Badge and the RK Overload, and he needs to be maxed out, full stars, all that kind of stuff. He's very, very, very good. Don't get me wrong. He needs a lot, though. He does need a lot. So arguably, there's 3 characters that would be in that top conversation. But let me just say it this way. Donatello and Ozzy, absolutely amazing. And before Donatello, Ozzy and Bubba were really the only tricksters in the conversation. Again, yes, Brutus plus gear. Yes, you've probably got somebody on yours that you're going to say, oh, you're forgetting. I'm sorry, I might be. Maybe very much. But either way, yeah, that's where they are. There's just not a lot of really good tricksters. So I'm going to close this out with a question. Which one is it? Worst class in the game for males? Is it Powerhouse or is it Trickster? Because the others are not even on the table. Not even close. Powerhouse or Trickster? Leave your comments below. That's the worst class in the game, or tied for, conversation to be had for those two as of November 2024. Well, that's it for this one. We're going to do a few of these, though. I want to talk about the females. I want to talk about the best male, best female classes. And then maybe we'll take it to a podcast episode between Rusty and I to kind of clear it up and finish it out. So that's it for this one. Thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for watching to the end. I really, really am honored that you did. It totally means a lot that you actually enjoy the game and are content enough to actually watch this. Thank you. Bye. Wait. Now I'm going to hit the button again. Bye. Really got to hit that.